For the benefit of the public and for transparency purposes, this meeting is being audio and video recorded and is being live streamed on the Borough of Glen Osborne's official YouTube channel. The official record of this meeting is the written minutes that will later be approved by council. The video recording and live stream are provided solely as a convenience to the public and are not the official record. We will now proceed according to the published agenda. Public comment will be received at the beginning of the meeting in accordance with our adopted procedures. Let's all stand for the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I see no visitors here except a very young one.
Small coin.
Is that Bill's bodyguard?
It is Jennifer Coyne's daughter, I believe.
Yes.
And she is going to do her own thing while we do ours. So I want to turn it over to the mayor if he has any comments or would like to make any statements.
Thank you. I have nothing to say.
Okay. Jim, the public safety, I don't know, do you have anything you want to say right at the moment?
Nothing specifically.
Okay, that's fine. Then moving on to public services, we have this proposed resolution governing how our website will be managed, and I wanted to just bring it up and ask if there were any concerns, questions, recommended changes. Do we all have that?
Thank you. I had seen something about it in the notes, but I don't think I got the actual resolution.
Okay.
But it's...
I highlighted there in yellow the things that concerned me, and
okay.
I think all of my concerns were pretty much answered at our last council meeting, so I don't know that we have anything more to say about that.
Okay.
I don't recall what the open issues were.
I'm sorry, Greg?
I don't recall what the open issues were or what we were.
Oh, I'll review those as soon as I get the copy back from Josh here. My first concern was a sentence in the 7th whereas, and Solicitor Jewett said she was going to change that sentence and make it more, to clarify it. So that should take care of itself. The second was that this policy should be reviewed annually, and I said, there's just so many things that I'm sure, forget. How are we going to remember to do that? And Solicitor Jewett again said, we are making a list of things that need to be reviewed annually, and we will include the website policy as one of those. So none of us have to remember it. That will be on Diane's plate. She will provide those reminders. The third one...
I'm sorry, can I stop you right there?
Yeah, go.
I was thinking about that since we had that conversation, and I just wanted to bring up my experience in Aleppo, which was that Gwen, the manager, and I had a running list not only of annual maintenance tasks, but just like in your house, quarterly maintenance tasks, monthly maintenance tasks, things that needed to be done on a regular basis. And it was very helpful. It was very helpful for us to be able to sort of just repeat, say, okay, these are the things that need to happen every month, and we can make those be templated so that they just get repeated. But I think we should think about that on a broader scale than just simply annually. And think about not just the website, but are there other things? And some of that I think probably comes from Diane. What are the things that I mean, very very much like as we're talking about AI in all of these places, having operating procedures in place makes the AI adoption so much easier later. If you already know what needs to happen, what is happening regularly, then you can say, okay, now where are you going to step in? Where can you help out? But I find that ability to have those things be organized and be repeatable, I guess is the right word, automated, is a very, very easy thing to do.
Good suggestion.
And I'm happy to help with that, and I'm happy to help with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And does that live in one place, like?
We did it in Aleppo in Workflowy, which was this tool that I'm slowly shifting out of it, but for 15 years, Workflowy was everything I ever did anywhere. I used it for work, I used it for, I mean, every question I asked in a trial was in Workflowy, and every phone call I made everywhere. My medical records were all there. The reason I'm transitioning out of it is because, frankly, I find Claude interacts with Airtable databases better than Workflowy. So I've started back-ending most things in Airtable databases,
Okay.
just because Claude can read and write, including everything that I'm organizing through these meetings. So there is an Airtable database that I call the Osborne Commons that keeps track of all the data that's processing through these digests. You know, the votes, the bullet points, all that stuff. So that could easily be expanded and shared, right? I mean, it's called the Osborne Commons so that it can be shared. And I thought about that with the website, right? It would be super easy for Sarah and I to sit down and figure out some sort of an API into that database that live feeds certain information onto the website, right?
Yeah.
Vote tallies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons that I like these, I've coined this term information management system, I'm sorry, intelligence management system. But I think it's so that both human intelligence and artificial intelligence can read from the same data set. So again, I've found Airtable databases to be the most efficient place for that stuff, but I'm open to any suggestions too.
Okay, the next concern I had, Greg, was in the proposed resolution, it says that the website must be accessible to persons with disabilities and provide accessible alternatives upon request. And I was frankly ignorant of the fact that that's already incorporated into our new website, at least according to what others have told me.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the upon request part, like what other format of information people would request, but it's definitely, the website is built to be compliant with the latest laws for whatever government websites have to be. Yeah. There are surprisingly thorough laws about that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
The fourth thing that I was concerned about was backing up the website. And again, that apparently is something that is already taken care of. So those were the concerns I had. I would like to bring the resolution up for a vote at our council meeting in 2 weeks. So if you would like a copy of the resolution and don't have one, please just email me and I will provide it for you.
Now, can I ask you a question about the resolution?
Sure.
I mean, one thing that I think that this is supposed to do, and again, I'm fine with this. You won't hear me arguing about it. Is it seems to me like it's designed to be a gatekeeper to who can update the website in some regards.
Absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
who is that gatekeeper at this point? According to
Diane
this document?
Fearley.
She's the only person that can update the website.
So far, but it's, the resolution says Diane Veerling, not specifically naming her,
Okay.
but the borough secretary, I believe, is it's fine.
Well, I think that chain of command should be clear.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Greg.
Interrupting someone, but I'd be a little curious as to how she's doing that, and there may be a way to do that, but I know she's gone out of her way to have her laptop not connected to the internet because it saves her on some other issues, connectivity, security, etc. So it becomes a question as to how that's happening and how we back up Diane's laptop.
I believe the way Diana was planning on doing it, and the way we've discussed it, was through the vendor. So changes to be made, she would then touch base with the vendor who would make the changes. So Diane specifically, I don't think, was actually making the changes. She would communicate changes to the vendor who would then make the changes.
Okay, is there a charge for that, or is that something we can just automatically do twice a month?
I don't
Pick
think-
it twice out of the year.
I don't think there's that many times where we actually do update it to that level, and there probably will be an hourly charge, but I think the updates are fairly straightforward when you do it based on the new design. Josh will probably speak to that more than anything else.
Yeah, so she does charge hourly, but I think to your point, yeah, look, generally our updates are attaching a new document or a couple documents, and that's frankly pretty much it right now. I don't think we would even hit an hour in the whole year if we were to do that. Add up all the time it takes her. So, yeah, I think the hourly rate is really more for redesign things, adding new pages, that type of larger chunks of work.
In a more demanding environment, we would probably want to do something different, but it's such a low volume environment, it really does simplify things to just let the developer of the website do whatever's needed through Diane's instruction.
Yeah, I think right now that's true. I do agree, I think Matt's trying, kind of driving at that. There's a lot more we could do with the website, and if we do open it up, then we may want to have a small team of people who are able to update the website.
Yeah, in the future, if that's needed and makes sense, great. I think for the next little bit of time at least, what we're doing with Diane works pretty well.
Yeah, agreed.
If you wanted to make that change, there's a number 2 under the resolved. You could make a simple change, such individuals, rather than for such other individual. And then we can vote on it at any time.
I'm fine with the status quo. I think that's, like we're all saying, as long as it can be changed later, I think it's fine now. And as long as it's clear right now that the one person that's designated to change the website is Diane.
I just, today on Glen Mitchell Road, the Swickley Water Authority began digging a ditch for the new water line to go up Glen Mitchell. I wish we had posted on the website a month ago or 2 months ago that this was coming. We didn't know when it was going to come, so we couldn't say on the website that on such and such a week or such a day that residents along Glen Mitchell Road should expect this. But just for informational purposes, for any resident that would happen to try and use our website, it would be helpful to be able to have that news up front. And I'm sorry, I should have contacted Diane. I should have told her at a meeting back in February when we learned that this was going to happen, please post this on our website. At least I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I have a question there, because can we put this in the Swickley Herald in a little bullet point that would be an article, not an ad that we have to pay for, but just a little article saying, here's what's going on in Osborne these days, and have 2 or 3 bullet points.
You cannot
Go to the website.
reliably count on the Swickley Herald. I love the Swickley Herald. I hope they are watching this meeting right now. But you cannot reliably count on the Swickley Herald to marshal your information. They just, their articles, when they're gonna run their articles, it's too varied. That's been my finding, at least. It's been my finding that it's not a reliable way to get information out.
I don't
Frank?
think most people go to a website to get their updates anyway. They mostly go to social media. So unless we're doing that, which I'm not suggesting, then
So how do we get it onto social media?
we
Yeah,
would
it might
need
be
a
putting
social
the
media.
cart before the horse a little bit, but that's kind of where we are, getting more people to look at the website and to do things.
Yeah,
Ideally, I agree, it should be the other way around. People go to the website to find out what's going on.
Yeah, it's very much a, in Aleppo, we found that it was very much like a flywheel. That once you started getting people going to the website, and we had, John, a feature that I'm sure Sarah built it, so I'm sure she could build it on our website too, but it was what we called an emergency overlay. So if you went to the website, you got one of 2 versions. You got either the normal version, or you got the normal version with this emergency overlay on it. And the emergency overlay said, there's gonna be road closure on Camp Horn, or on Glen Mitchell Road today, find another route. And once you click that off, you just went through to the normal website. But it was just a way to make it so that people could regularly come to our website and find out that real top news. But then you have a real obligation. You can't let that slack, right? You can't let people come to the website and have information there that's 2 weeks old. Then you're going to lose credibility. So the flywheel works, but you've got to get people. You got to get it. You got to update the information. You got to get people trusting it.
Yeah. And that brings up a concern I've had ever since I've become council president. I was Public Works chairperson up to that point and made it a point to try and be up to date on all the public works concerns. And I need to turn that responsibility over to Jennifer or to Bill or to someone else. So that, for example, in this case with the Sewickley Water Authority, you would be the one that would say, we need to get this on the website. So I'll talk to you after the meeting about it a little bit and show you what I've done and see what we can do to transfer the way I've worked with it to you. Okay. Any other questions or concerns about the resolution for our website? Then let's go on to Public Works. There are two items that I want to consider here. The first is about storm sewer maintenance on private roads. There are only 2 private roads where we have storm sewers. The first is Davis Lane, and the second is Academy Place, the lower end of Osborne Lane. We have already sent letters to residents of Davis Lane explaining to them their responsibilities for maintaining their storm sewers. We have not done that for the residents of Academy Place. And so I've asked Clint to suggest a letter that we could send to those residents. And here is what he came up with. And I'm going to just pass it. I just made 2 copies, but
I see it.
I would like to have Diane mail this letter to the residents of Academy Place so that they, like the residents of Davis Lane, will be aware of the fact that they have responsibility to maintain those sewers, and that the borough has the responsibility and the right to go in and inspect those sewers and to expect residents to maintain them if they are not. So I think the residents need to know that. For Jim and for Greg, the letter states that the borough recognizes that this is a private storm sewer system. However, the borough also has the obligation under its stormwater management regulations to ensure that stormwater management facilities continue to function as intended and are properly operated and maintained. The borough's stormwater management ordinance requires the owner of privately owned stormwater management facilities to maintain such facilities in accordance with applicable operation and maintenance requirements. The ordinance specifically places responsibility for the operation and maintenance of privately owned stormwater management facilities upon the property owner. In addition, the ordinance authorizes municipal inspection of stormwater facilities to verify that they continue to function as intended. So that's the letter, basically the core of the letter. Any concerns about me instructing Diane to mail copies of it to residents of Academy Place?
What are our expectations for them, that they are maintained and free of debris at all times, once a month, once a week, upon a storm? Like, what's the?
Yeah, we can modify this letter to be more specific there. And that's something I would appreciate if you could work on that between now and our council meeting.
Okay, is there, that would be more detailed in our ordinances? In our ordinances? the borough's ordinances, the expectations that are placed on them.
I don't think it's in our ordinance. I think it's in the MS4 language that requires municipalities to maintain their stormwater facilities. So, but I would think if you talked to Clint and just said, how specific could we be here? And so that residents are aware of, just how quickly they have to move on this.
Yeah, and just
who's
how
responsible
often.
for inspecting them, I think is another thing,
Yeah.
I would add, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I think, especially in a borough like Osborne, where we don't have a public works crew, our public works crew is privately funded and privately contracted. Thank you. I have a storm sewer outside of my house, and I treat it like it's mine. I clean it up after a storm. I keep stuff from going into it because I know it needs to get vacuumed out. When I'm blowing my leaves, it's a public thing. Like, I want to take care of it. I know that Brian's going to come clean it up, but he's going to come clean it up when he can. And I think there's nothing wrong with letting residents know what's going on in those public storm sewers. I know DEP will be happy to tell you a lot about what should go into a public storm sewer. The answer is only stormwater. But I think there's a lot of public education that can happen around this that's not just geared at the private residents, but it's geared more at the community at large, and how do we care for our public infrastructure.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. But I think it's really crucial for these private road residents to be aware of.
Absolutely. I think that when you know about stormwater infrastructure, and then you know that there are private systems and public systems, then all of a sudden it becomes more readily apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did send a letter out already to Davis Lane, so I think just getting that letter in hand and reading what we sent to them, which is very simple, I believe, will help to craft the letter to the next community, right?
That's a good idea. Do you have,
is this
just
built
ask
off that?
Diane
Okay.
for a copy of the letter she sent to the Davis Run
Okay.
residents. Okay, the second item is, let's see if I can find my agenda here. The Public Works contract. And I'm happy to say that Brian Brown has signed the change order, which we, at our last council meeting, approved on the contingency that he sign it. So the change order is now in place.
That's terrific.
Yeah. All right. Finance Committee, Greg, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Not at this point. I have not seen updated numbers to see how the taxes are coming in. So I'm going to wait until Diane's back and get to go with her at that point. So I'll have an update, I expect, at the council meeting.
Thank you. That's great. All right. Nothing under zoning. Now, for old business, we are going to advertise for a new solicitor on August 6th and August 13th in the papers, and establish a deadline of August 25th to have any applications returned. Solicitor Stewart has said that she will advertise within all of the solicitor forums that she is involved with, so that she'll try and get the word out. But I don't know that there's anything else to say there unless you have a question about what's in the advertisement. And I have a copy of that right here.
Am I correct that we've already received a couple resumes?
I believe we have.
A guy and one from a woman.
I'm not sure whether Diane has received them or whether we've just been assured by Solicitor Stewart or even Mayor Dobler, I believe, that we have some interested applicants. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be
Those people will know.
any question that we're going to have applicants that submit their applications before
Yeah, and
August
those
25th.
people who we have their resumes should know that they still need to apply.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, second item under old business is the Route 65 stone wall. And that, we got feedback from PennDOT. And the feedback is not very encouraging. What they have said is that they found only two limited portions of the wall that encroach within the state right-of-way. One is a 26-foot-long section near the termination of Osborne Lane, and the second is a small section near Orchard Street where the wall extends approximately 1.6 feet into the state right-of-way. So, that provides us with some real challenges, right? And I would like to bring up some of these challenges in an executive session. And unless there's any other old business or new business that any of you would like to bring up, I would like to adjourn into an executive session.
I'll just give a quick update on the room.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, good.
Matt and I had a great conversation with Michelle. Thank you, Matt, for, I feel like, turning that around, honestly. And she was incredibly supportive. She's going to help us raise cost share through a few different things, through throwing an event of some sorts, maybe a clay shoot type of thing, and allowing the 50-50 to go, if we are successful in our grant, to our costs and covering the cost share. And they have some sort of community matching funds. So she was just wonderful in that meeting, and like saying, I need a community event, I need a cause or whatever, and it was awesome. It was a great meeting. And then today, she invited us to a few follow-up things. That today I attended the PennDOT meeting that she had with them. It was today, it's fine. It was really interesting, honestly.
I'm glad you went, thank you, Jen.
Yeah, she had gotten together the Transportation Planning Committee, SPC, it's not transportation, but that's what they do. They're like a planning committee for PennDOT, and then PennDOT and the QB-COG and a member of Van Avon Council and the board of the COG. He's the executive director of the board or something like that. Anyway, he's not that. He's a member of the board of the QB-COG and their mayor. And so we were all on the line, and it was really interesting. PennDOT's feedback to the QB-COG was that the municipalities should give feedback on their problems specifically, that this was the best way to address issues on 65 versus some master plan that the state funds was the alternative. In fact, they wanted specific feedback and making incremental progress over time rather than the state assuming that they understand our issues at a community level. So it was really asking for our engagement, which I thought was pretty cool. So they're gonna kick off some sort of study where they would ask for our engagement and our issues, but I think there's room, if we were successful in our application, to bring that up as a specific project. That's what they wanted. They wanted projects with dollar amounts attached to them. So it was actually, I didn't even have to talk, I just listened. But like they were very much asking for what we're on the path to do anyway. So I was very encouraged by that. And the QB-COG is also doing all the right things, I think, so. Overall, very good.
Good.
May I respond, Mr. Moderator?
Please.
Thanks. And I really kind of dramatically want to directly address Michelle, because I agree with what Jen is saying, that I reached out to Michelle, and I told her that we were having trouble with this grant, and I told her very frankly that I really needed the COG to step up and show up. And she answered that call so seriously, in such a big way. And I am not somebody that gives false praise. I mean, I just don't. But she exceeded my expectations. Michelle, you exceeded my expectations in such a big way on that call. And I am so grateful to have you running the cog, and I'm very excited about things that are going to happen at that intersection and at the cog in large.
Good news. Good news. Thank you,
Yeah.
both Mayor Dobler and Councilperson Jennifer Coyne. All right, I'd like to retire into an executive session.
Now, are we going to come back out of executive session, or are we finished?
No, this will finish the meeting.
Okay, then I'm going to sign off.
I guess we adjourn first, huh?
Yeah.
So I would like a motion to adjourn this committee meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.